of the things I love about the way the stick is designed is that it's really easy to get the hands all the way up to the highest point of the board. Since there's no body on it, it's an equal feeling no matter where you play. So as I play down here, I have an equal feeling going up the strings. My hand can keep its same attitude relative to the board. So I feel like this really encourages me to want to move around the board laterally instead of staying within the same position all the time. And because I'm using a three-fingered melody technique, that's a very easy thing to do just by virtue of knowing a few basic scales. So let me show you how that works. We'll do this in F, which if you have the stick book, you'll notice the page 6-5 in the stick book, which is the first finger modes in F. So you learn how all of the scales feel, starting with the first finger. And we can follow that in F so that you have a reference point in the book. But first what we'll do is we'll play the Lydian scale, which is the most major scale. So that goes F, G, A, B, C, D, E, F. So you see that B natural up there. And then from there you go to the Ionian scale, which is the regular major scale. So and then we have the Mixolydian scale, so the 7 gets flatted. And then you have the Dorian scale, where the 3rd gets flatted. And then the Aeolian, or the natural minor scale, where the 6th gets flatted. And then you have the Phrygian scale, where the 2nd gets flatted. And then you have the Locrian scale, where the 5th gets flatted. I like to sing while I'm playing them because I always like to try to connect my voice with my hand and with my ears. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take these scales that I just played, and rather than play them in the order of the most major Lydian to most minor, I'm going to play them as they relate to the positions of the key on the board. And the first of these is going to be the major scale. Then my next one is going to be moving up to the G, which would be the Dorian scale with my 2nd finger. Okay, but I don't want to play this with my 2nd finger. What I'm trying to do is to train my hand to feel that first finger line on each of these scales. So it's going to be instead here, moving up to this position to play the Dorian scale. And remember that major 6th that we have there. And then moving up to the next note, which would be A, that's going to be the A Phrygian scale. And then the next shape is the Lydian. Then the Mixolydian. And then the Aeolian. We have to come down here to play, as I'm running out of frets, so I have to come down here to play the other modes, which is the Locrian. So here's the Ionian again. Then if I go down here to where the Aeolian is again, then up to the next one is the Locrian. I have the Ionian again. So now I've covered all the different modal positions for the key of F major. And what that enables me to do is to take the first 3 notes of each of those scales and use those to navigate one string so that I can play a solo along one string just by remembering what the notes are on the very bottom of the scale. So first I'm going to play just the bottom 3 notes of the Ionian position. Now I'm going to move up to the next position, the Dorian position, and play those 3 notes. So it's a whole step, half step. And then I'm going to move up to the Phrygian position. So I've got, and then I've got my Lydian position, and then my Mixolydian position, then my Aeolian position. Of course, I don't have enough space to continue all the way up to the Locrian. So what I'll do is I'll go down here and I'll go, there's my Ionian, then I go down to my Locrian, then down to my Aeolian, and I can keep going all the way down to my Mixolydian. I keep going until I run out of frets in the other direction. So that's how to play along the line in just that one key. Let me play a little bit of a melody there, and you can just see how this is going to work in terms of how I'm going to shift my hand around. So I'll go. Now, I don't always have to do this just in major. Let's say I wanted to play F Mixolydian. I wanted to get that flatted 7th in there. So that would shift all of the scales to a different reference point. If I wanted to go minor and play Aeolian, for example, that would be starting with the F Aeolian here. And then go below that. Let's start by going down this time. We're going to have Mixolydian here, and Lydian down here. And then it goes down to Phrygian here. That's a beautiful sound. I love when that Lydian, the Aeolian, Locrian, Ionian, Dorian, Phrygian, Lydian, and I don't have enough frets to do the Mixolydian going that way. So it's just shifting the starting point, and since I know all the modal scales by heart, it's very easy just to take that bottom string, think about the first finger position, and move around. So what I really like about this, extending it to the left hand, is that we're going to use the same exact fingerings and the same movements because there's no tuning difference. So it's easy to apply the 3-finger technique we're using on the right hand to the left hand with a very consistent feel. We can play unison in both hands. We'll play F on each side. So if I want to start, for example, in Mixolydian, there's my Mixolydian, Aeolian, Locrian, Ionian, Locrian, Aeolian, Mixolydian, and then Lydian. So I can play with both hands, playing the same exact fingering patterns. That's Mixolydian. Mostly what I like to do is to just set up a little drone in my left hand and then play along with it in the right hand and change the modes around at will for a nice little Middle Eastern kind of a sound. Happy tapping.